Good evening and welcome to the Limerick Planning Board meeting for August 6, 2025. If we could stand for the flag salute. All right. If you don't mind, I'm going to take things out of order a little bit. Mike's here. I think we could get Mike to go first.
So my name is Michael Carroll. I represent FR Carroll, and we have submitted a application for a subdivision for Lower Hollandville Acres on Alea Drive in Limerick. And that is on town water and sewer. I don't know if you want to, this is a larger scale map.
Is there a way to put that up, Stephanie? Or? I don't know, where do you? Yeah, right there. Right there's good? Yeah. Thank you.
Maybe that front leg twists to tighten it? I'm not sure.
I believe we've submitted everything on the checklist.
Okay. I'm just trying to remember the size of the lots. They have to be 24,000.
That's zoned residential down there, so it's, I believe it's, is it 22.5
22.5.
with 100 feet of frontage,
That's right.
I believe.
I think you're right.
We did a wetland survey, there's no wetlands on the property. The only lot that might come into shoreline is, setback from the wetland is lot 6 on this back corner right here, that's why we put that line in there. We asked for, I believe, a waiver for the high-intensity soil survey because all of these lots are on town water and sewer.
Does anyone remember what the deal was with surveying all remaining land? I think it ended up getting changed so that it doesn't have to if it's over 40 acres.
The remaining lands?
Yeah, so.
That sounds about right.
The remaining lands are over 40
Right,
acres.
if it's over 40, it doesn't count as,
At one point, the town had voted that, but I think the ordinance has changed since, so I was just trying to remember that. That's right, because that was just over 40 acres.
yeah, that was 42 and a half on Quarry Road.
Okay,
I believe this is more than that.
okay. I think there was something that got changed there, and I'm just trying to remember it. I don't know what the rest of the board, how the rest of the board feels, but I feel like it's on a road that has, a continuous loop there, for the most part. And having a hammerhead is not necessary. I would like to ask Stan on that, but.
I've been thinking about that since you said that. So it actually, so the driveway, basically, this is really gonna be the driveway, or
Right.
something similar to
Oh,
it.
that is going to be the driveway?
Well, it doesn't have to be right there, but what I'm saying is, somewheres in this short section, if we build a road at the end of the lot, doesn't that kind of make it the hammerhead in this situation, where the driveway goes in and he can come out and turn to that?
Do you plan to continue a road down that way one
Maybe
day?
Someday, but not. There's a dirt road there now.
Yeah.
The sewer line goes through there, so they have easement and access across it. So there is kind of
Yeah,
a
walk,
dirt road there,
I
but
walk
it's
my
not
dog over there
improved.
all the time, so yeah.
Yeah,
What,
so you
Alair
know.
Drive goes out this way, right?
It
Yeah.
makes a loop over
Yeah.
here, and all of that is a dirt road,
Not anymore.
right?
This way is, but
Yeah.
that way is not. That way's tied
This part is.
I guess I'd like to ask Stan on that, but my feeling is that if you had 100 feet of tarred road there, it wouldn't necessarily have to have this cutout of a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's my feeling. I would like to ask Stan, but.
Yep.
You know, a fire truck's most likely not gonna pull in there and back in here. So I would think that loop is adequate, so. That's the only thing that I see that I have concerns about. Not really a concern, but just, I think it'd be cleaner otherwise.
Would boost the lot size on that one, certainly, if you were just put it in there to the, closer to the 24 like the rest.
So would that change your lot configuration at all, or would you just include that little corner?
we would probably, I don't think it would change that. We still have to have what we got there for frontage.
Yeah, that's right, you still have to have,
73 and 50,
yeah, you still have to have,
54 and 50, so we still gotta have, just move that up to the road.
that's right, okay, that's what I,
It gives us 104 feet of frontage.
Okay.
So that, you know, the only thing that'll change is where that is, the
Okay.
hammerhead part of it. We just move this line right up to here,
okay.
if you guys decide that's what you want to do. We kind of just assumed where it was kind of a dead end that we needed to look at it. Whatever you want. You have.
Yeah, I'll ask Stan on that one,
Yep.
because I don't, if I say one thing, he'll say something different.
Yep, that's fine. We got time.
Yeah, sidewalk.
I guess I'm fine with not having the hammerhead there, but what does that do? Because this is the first time I've done one of these where we're actually extending the road, making that a dead end. So like what, if that's not a hammerhead, what is that? Is that an extension of the Lair Drive? Like what is that?
It
don't think it's
It would
a-
have to be an extension, so that, they'd have to make the road, to that to the
Yeah,
town standard.
Which they say they're gonna do anyways here, but it's more like,
Yeah,
is that a different street with a different name? Like what does that mean?
I hope not.
Let me ask you a question. Is the town taking that over yet, the Lair Drive, or is that still in the process?
Right now, the developer,
Still owns it, or?
I honestly don't know, Mike, because
Okay, that's fine.
they,
That's fine.
we're planning to plow it now, and I think,
they did, but.
I think we actually took it over. I think the town took it over. I believe the town
The
took it.
town voted to allow money for it, right? That was what we voted on? To add it to the
That's just
budget?
for snow plowing.
Yeah.
So I believe we're plowing it at this point, so.
So I'd like to ask just one question. If the lot ends here and the road ends, let's say the road ends at the end of the lot or a few feet beyond it, does this count as a hammerhead or not? I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not a
yeah.
hammerhead because the road continues on.
Yeah,
But you see what I'm doing?
yeah,
I mean, like the lot next door, their driveway is essentially, you know, this, we did
Right,
this one
right.
last year, that's the hammerhead. Yeah, I think it, and that's kind of what I was getting at, it may be easier to just make this an extension, call that the hammerhead, so we don't get into any funkiness with the new road, but still move the lot up is what, I guess what I'm saying.
okay, you call
Yeah.
that, call that the hammer, so basically.
Yeah, I mean,
the
we'll
other
need
problem
to
is
check the
that's-
sand.
That's tight on that corner, cause it's
Yeah.
going in an opposite angle, so, and there's a hydrant. right there.
No, I agree.
So, I'll talk to Stan on that one. Either way, I think we can set a public hearing, accept the plans. And this is a major, so, make a motion that we accept the application for a, 6-lot major subdivision, for FR Carroll Incorporated on Alair Drive, and set a public hearing. So, September 3rd, the right date? 20th. We have something going on the 20th, so September 3rd would be our first.
I'll second.
Aren't we voting on the moratorium on the second?
What's that now?
When are we voting?
The
on
town?
On the moratorium.
I don't know if they've picked a date yet.
Thought I saw that in Stan's email, or the
Um,
lawyer's email. Maybe I'm wrong.
What time would we want to do it?
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Will you do the site walk prior to the public hearing? Will you do a site walk down
Yeah,
there?
so
Yeah.
I think we'd do a sidewalk, I was thinking like 5:30, something like that. I don't know.
5:30 would be helpful.
5:30 for you? Would that work for you, Mike?
I wouldn't be able to be there.
5:30,
I'll make it work.
It's fine with me.
okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, just September 3rd, 5:30 PM.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah,
So you have another meeting between now and then, but you can't squeeze this in, is that correct?
we would not have enough time to,
Okay. That's fine, I didn't hear what was going on, that's fine, that's fine.
yeah, we do have another, application that we're gonna do a sidewalk public hearing that night, so.
Okay, that's fine, thank you. I couldn't hear what was going on.
Do they have a big rush on getting that paved, Mike?
Down there?
Yeah.
I don't know, so it was brought to my attention about the street cuts
Yes.
across the road, and I understand, so our intentions are to get the subdivision in place, but we're probably not gonna develop it for a year or so, or maybe even more. So we still have lots on Quarry Road that we're gonna finish and then go down there, so I talked to Stan about it a little bit, and I know, because we used to pave a lot, that things like this would pop up and they would ask to put the money in escrow. Whoever was gonna pave it, instead of paving it, put the money in escrow and not to put the surface on it until those street cuts were made, but, and I don't know where that's gone from there, so.
Yeah, I don't know about that, so. So you didn't have intention of doing the street cuts and doing that?
Not right now. Like I said, we're just trying to get this prep for
I know
We
the
may
water,
s-
I know the water's on the opposite side, and I think probably can run into the manholes
with the sewer,
with the sewer.
yeah.
That's what I'm kinda hoping, so.
I haven't looked at them. I'll have to get down and look at them.
Kind of was hoping to go into the manholes and rather than having to dig down, because the sewer's very deep there.
Right.
I'm sure you remember that, I guess.
Yeah, it's deep down there.
Okay. So there's a motion on the floor and a second. All in favor? So we'll have a public hearing, have a site walk at 5:30 and a public hearing at 7 on September 3rd. Okay, anything else for us, Mike?
No, do you have anything more for me, or are you okay?
I think we're okay.
Okay. Do you want to keep this, or do you want me to take that?
You can take that one. Joanne, you have a copy, right? You have a copy, right? I think we're okay for now.
All right, okay.
And I'll,
Process, does that not matter?
I'll talk to Stan about the hammerhead, and then I'll get back to you about that.
Thank you.
Or just the application
I don't think that's how it reads. I was reading it, I think
That's
it's
what I was
like,
trying to figure out.
it's like it hasn't been started yet. Submitted, I think was the term, but maybe I'm wrong.
All right, so most of this stuff in correspondence is just, information for the board. Is there anything that anybody cares to talk about on those things? There was an email regarding precision collision, there was an email regarding water testing for CIA, subdivision revision for Route 5, notice of violation for a junkyard.
Waiting for something on the subdivision revision for Route 5 and Foss Road.
Okay.
He's waiting for something on that. Okay.
I think I just got some information from them. They seem really confused, and I'm not certain what, they're asking if if we need them to submit an application for a subdivision or a conditional use permit, so it's a subdivision revision, basically. So I think it's the same criteria as a subdivision.
And I don't think the city sends a deposit. I think that's to be voted on.
And it's 2 lots within, or is the company trying to do it, or
Just the revision, changing of a lot line
between 2?
between 2 lots, just one line change.
They're just taking from one, given to the other.
Okay,
I thought I saw that in here somewhere. Oh, yeah, it's right
all
here.
right.
I think it's on.
Yeah, they're just trying to move.
I guess we're talking about correspondence, I guess we can have Merrill go to the podium. I really don't wanna go too into detail because Sean is not here, but, go ahead to the podium and.
I apologize, some of this is repetitious. I don't know who listened to select board meeting, but I want to just still put the material out there. So I handed out 3 different packets of information to you folks tonight that are copies of communications that I've received from the town. I believe you actually have seen all of it except perhaps the letter that directly came from Mr. Eric Hamlin of the state DEP to me in response to some questions that I had addressed to him. Right, they had it before, okay. So there's not, I don't think there's new material, but I wanted to be sure that you didn't have anything that would cause you more delay in consideration, or I'm hoping that. So I'm here because I'm concerned that this board may be overlooking material changes to the CIA salvage conditional use permit on Secocas Trail. I've met with Stan and specifically asked him if this permit by rule represented a significant change in the conditional use permit and business permit, and he told me that he felt it was a significant change. Again, for the public's edification, on June 26, 2025, the State of Maine DEP issued a permit by rule for a tire storage facility. And I don't want to bore you with the legal citations that are in that letter. You can see it there. But I'm going to just simplify it to say that CIA has operated for years under the basis of, and they word it, solid waste hyphen transfer station and tire storage site for solid waste, with a limit for years of 1,000 tires. And by this permit by rule, they will be allowed to expand tire storage to a new area, which good is not in the sand gravel aquifer, so that's a good news. But it's an expansion to 10,000 square feet of storage up to 10 feet high. I'm doing my own game of math, but I had sort of had some of this pass through Eric. I believe this represents now the ability to store 10,000 to 12,000 tires. By not reviewing the permit, it implies the town will be accepting this without concern for its potential impacts. CIA has a long history of citations by your board and by the state DEP for tires exceeding its legal limit. I have concerns, and again, I'm excited that it's in a new location, but I have concerns because there are still a large number of tires in the processing area, and many of them have been there for a long period of time, which I've shared images with Stan, and so he has those available. And I would certainly share them in the future with you, but this is not a big formal hearing. It's requesting that you folks bring this permit back for rehearing. But there's many tires in that processing area, hundreds at least, if not 1,000 in that area. And I truly have concerns now that there's going to be an expansion of how many tires are going to be on that site. Is that going to be the real limit, considering the history of this individual or this corporate entity? Are there more environmental impacts from this? What would a fire in a tire pile be like as a difference between 10,000 tires and 1,000 tires? Those are my real basic concerns. And I do feel that if there is not a formal review, I worry that, one, that the legal option to alter tire storage is permanently lost. Two, that if this is not reviewed, does any conditional use permit that contains the wording that any change of a condition or usage that the CEO thinks is significant needs to come back to the planning board for review carry relevance or validity? Or does this allow future conditional use permitters to compare their change to this change of 1,000 to 10,000 tire storage potential, and be able to call their changes insignificant? And I also believe that this board has learned over the last few years to be a lot more specific in its conditional use permits. At least that's my observation. And would it follow the examples that you've been setting for how you perform your duties now? Or does ignoring this significant change lead to further issues with how people are going to push limits on their conditional use permits? This is not something, the state has indicated that the 10,000 square feet is what they're giving as a permit by rule, but I want to remind you, and the reason I copied the emails that are between Stan and the DEP, At the very bottom of the first page, it says, "This section of our rule is essentially an acknowledgement that the town is in the driver's seat on the issue, except that the town cannot allow him to store tires in a manner or number exceeding that allowed by our rule." So they're basically saying the town has the ability to say, well, we're not sure an increase makes sense up to 10,000 square feet. Maybe you assume a different limit. I remember that at one point, Sean, I think, said a trailer load is either 2,000 or 2,500, I can't remember, but somewhere in that area. So do you want 4 trailer loads plus to be up there, or potential of that, or do you want there to be less than that? And I'm requesting that this board bring the conditional use permit back for review and public hearing and discussion, as I think is the way it has to be done. It's just that one simple issue. It is not all the conditions. I don't think it's as big and complicated as I think there's anxiety for you folks, and probably for me as well, to be doing this whole thing over again. But it's one thing, but it is not insignificant. And the CEO has said that, and that's not something I'm modifying. And I think since it's his call, I think the decision's already been made.
So I guess I'll address that. I had a conversation with him a while ago, and I said, he asked me what I thought, and I said, it's up to you to decide whether it's significant or not. At that point, I had assumed that he had decided that it was a not a significant change, and he would deal with it. If he has had a change in heart and wants to tell this board that he feels that it's a significant change and that we should bring him in, I think that's our job. So I don't know what you guys think. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and I may be misremembering, but I thought when he reported this to us, he felt that it wasn't significant at the time. And maybe he's changed his mind, but like that's what we've been told as a board.
Well, he was talking about many factors last meeting, which is unfortunate,
Yeah.
because it's not just this one thing, and it wasn't specifically said to him, what do you consider in this one item? He said, I do better, because he talked about the CCD area having spillover off the pad and some other housekeeping issues, I believe. And he said, I do better when I speak with Sean. And although he talked about 1,000 pages of concerning material that he has that is referencing history of violation stuff. So I listened to the planning board meeting again from last time, and he was not being specific about this particular item, and he said, for now, I'd like to try to work with him on that. So that's, and the second part is, your board is its own independent thought process. I think it's pretty significant to go from 1,000 tires to 10,000 square feet at 10 feet high, plus whatever still remains in the processing area. You've been on the site. You know what it looks like. And I'll be glad to provide photo documentation of that processing area if that's an issue where you can't remember what that looked like. But it is a large number of tires that can be on site now under this permit by rule. And
I'm a firm believer that, the salvage yard is a crucial part to the community needs. However, 10,000 square feet times 10 high, I think you're looking at more than 10,000 tires. I think you're maybe looking at twice that. If each one's 3.5 feet by 3.5 feet, 10 feet tall, 10 tires tall, you were talking truck tire size. I think you can fit quite a bit more than 10,000 in that area. Is 10x, 20x significant?
I'm a poor mathematician, but if you take one truck tire, which is only 33 inches, but I expand it to 36 inches in diameter, it's about 10 inches wide, but if I expand it to 1 foot wide to make it simple math, it comes out to 11,000 111 tires of that size that would be in a pile of that dimension. Now, I know that's nicely arranged. I'm not trying to pretend that haphazard versus,
And does that
Stacking.
pose, imminent threat to the environment? Is there evidence of that?
well, I mean, I consider, I think this is a discussion at a public hearing, so I don't want to be too deep as Aaron said, but we can always argue the microplastics kind of stuff. They've been talking about that crap for a long period of time, and I look at fire hazard. If that thing starts, you're not going to put it out.
Right.
And so you're dealing with all those emissions from that fire, the difference between 1,000 tires and 10,000 or 12,000 tires. But, I mean, it already is non-compliant at 1,000. I'm not going to argue that it's been 1,000 because it really has not been. But there's a big difference in size and what that risk to me represents. And I'm further away from it than a lot of other people, so.
So, like I said before, I thought that Stan considered it a minor change, and to be honest, I thought it was 10,000 cubic feet, and it is 10,000 square feet, so, that's 100 by 100 by 10 feet tall, so.
100,000 square
Yes, that's correct. So,
cubic feet, I'm sorry.
it's 100,000 cubic feet, that's correct. So, I guess, is it all right with the board if I reach out to Stan and ask him if he thinks it's a significant change? And if he does, then would he bring it to the board so that we can decide what we're gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, it's my understanding of the process that Stan has to kind of kick it off officially, so.
Yes, so,
And to
Um,
just know, are there conditions that need to be met for that difference in size of storage for maintaining it and having it there?
mhm.
It is a significant difference, so there's gotta be some sort of,
I'd say-
regulation of,
I'd say it's
prevent
probably
things.
not
Yeah.
different than what's there right now.
yeah.
Maybe-
But now
maybe-
it's,
maybe
but
to-
now it's allowed, right? He
Maybe,
found,
maybe today, but, the pile that was there originally it had to be 100 by 100 by 20 feet tall, so. So I guess I'd like to bring it to Stan and check with him, and then, maybe he's gonna wanna talk to Vinnie and see what Vinnie thinks as well, so. And then I'll bring it back to you for the next meeting. Okay? I didn't mean to push anything off, I asked him if he thought it was a significant change. And I think at that time he did say it, and maybe he had the same math as I did and thought it was 10,000 cubic feet, not 10,000 square feet, so. Okay, thank you. So we have a site walk on the 20th. Joanne said it was at 6 o'clock, is that correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
6 o'clock. And that is on Dole's Ridge Road?
Yep.
And then the public hearing follow at 7?
mhm.
And then moratorium, what is the action step for this?
I mean, it's already going before the town.
It's going before the town on the 2nd.
So it's.
September
so
2nd.
The selectmen have put it forward before the town for September 2nd.
And this is wrong, this says 7 or more, but they voted 6 or more.
I thought they voted more than 6.
I thought it was more than 6 too, but then the emails back and forth today say 6 or more. So that's what I was trying to figure out earlier when I was like, if we have our walkthrough on the 3rd, is it 6 or more, or is it,
Once the
6.
application's in, it's,
but this says.
We were just discussing
Immediately
this.
on the acceptance, review, or approval pursuant to the town zoning ordinances or subdivision for 7 or more dwelling units. But that's what they were going back and forth saying, it should be 6. So I guess we need to clarify.
okay, immediately following. Okay.
When we decided on that number,
I think they meant up to 6 lots.
Up to 6.
Up to 6 is what they meant.
I think so too,
Yeah.
but I just want to make sure we're clarifying that
And
since
this
it's going
one
back
says
and
it
forth.
doesn't kick in until 7?
Yes, this says.
Is that your-
Acceptance, review, or approval pursuant to town zoning ordinances or subdivision ordinance on any application or petition seeking approval for the construction or creation of 7 or more dwellings.
So they can do all this.
Yes, but then Bernie emailed us today and said, with the lawyer email that was forwarded to us from Cam and Stan, somewhere, hold on.
This was approved by Cam.
He said, please pass along to all concerned that the joint meeting with the planning board, I believe the number of units we agreed upon was 6 or more. And that was sent August 2nd at 1:09 a.m. Is he doing it at 1:09 a.m.?
This was approved by the attorney.
But this is in response to the attorney's email, so that's what I was just trying to get clarification on, because that timing would affect this decision based on the word "or" being in here, and not "and." In paragraph 3, page 2.
Is
I
this
mean,
the-
ultimately, it's the town's decision, it's what they're voting on this, more like the way it's written here.
Okay, so this says moratorium shall take an
Where does it
effect
say that?
immediately upon passage by the town and shall apply to the maximum extent permitted by law, but subject to the severance clause above to all preceding applications and petitions for development received after its adoption and shall stand repealed as of 180 days following the adoption. So this application is not affected by this, either way.
So it just is conflicting.
It says received after adoption, so I believe we're all set with that. But we'll put Ashley on finding out whether it's 6 or 7.
I will rewatch our video.
Let's see. So there's no action step on this, I think we're all set.
So the vote is on the 2nd?
I believe so, yes. So is there any other business that we need to go through tonight? I think we've covered it.
last meeting's minutes.
No meeting minutes. July 16th minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a motion on those?
Motion.
Okay. Motion to
Approve.
approve? Okay. I wasn't here, so
I'll second.
I wasn't here either.
so it's a motion and a second. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor? I'm gonna abstain. So. All right, so I think that's it for tonight. Our next meeting is on the 20th. So, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
What's the address of that sidewalk? On the 20th?
I do not know.
It's on Dole's Ridge Road.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
that big grass
So-
area.
I know.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Okay. thank you, and have a good night.